Sisterhood only works amongst queens. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Healing into Femininity. It's me, Joanna, your host, and I will get right into it. Sisterhood only happens or works amongst queens. What do I mean by that? So, I have been in the women's empowerment space for a long time because that's just who I am. And I have realized that you actually can't really be in a sisterhood if other women want to be like you, or if women, basically, the root is really if other women are not fully grounded in their own divinity. Let's say that. That's why I also believe in you're either a queen in your own right, and I totally believe in abundance. I don't believe in competition. I believe that there is enough for everyone. There is just you have your life. You are unique as your thumbprint, right? You are your own blueprint. I am my own blueprint. I don't have a problem with you being totally different than me. I actually really support that. I think like, if at all, and I'm also like sharing my insecurities, if at all, I think I would have a little bit more of a comparison thing when somebody is a lot like me, yeah. But even then, I have realized that we are not the same. Even if we kind of look the same, even if we have a little bit of the same interests, we are not the same. Like, everyone is unique. But if somebody is completely different, like I have friends who are like really different from me. I have this one girl, she's a white woman, and she is like this like psytrance yoga. She's an amazing girl. Like, she is an amazing woman. She has so much going for her. She has a lot of talents. She can sing, she can play the cello, she can do pottery. Like, she's a graphic designer. Like, she's doing so many artistic things. She's a yoga teacher. So she does a lot, and these are my kinds of girls. I love it. I love it. We're not the same at all, but we're so much the same on the inside. Like, we love expression, we love creativity, we love personal empowerment, and we just love to mind our business. And this is what I mean. I believe that sisterhood and women's like real like closer women's circles, they can only work really either in a mentorship student dynamic. And I want to talk about that because I am a mentor, I'm a coach, and I have had, because I look young, because I am very friendly and very open and very transparent, I have had my boundaries crossed. And I think maybe this is for all the women, like for the coaches, for the mentors, for the service providers, whatever. If you have, especially in a mentorship position, if you have been in a position like that and you're too friendly with your clients or with your students, right? With your what is it called? Like this, like padrino, padrina, and then like what is the person? Like, you're the mentee, right? Like, literally the mentee, or the yeah, the what is it? I forgot. Like, the child, like the person is kind of like your child, right? Your spiritual child. And I think it's important to set the record straight that I think people have a problem with being the child. People have told me also, like, sometimes people's ego, and this is where you know when you know that those people are not meant to be your spiritual child, or these people are not meant to be your mentees. If it's a real mentorship relationship, and my programs are like that, it's a personal relationship. It's you have access to me. And that is where people's egos come in, and then they all of a sudden kind of feel like they're your friend. No, you're not my friend. And I don't mean it in a bad way, but you're not my friend. You came here to learn something. You came here to learn something. You're here on your level up journey because you're not there where you want to be. You're here to learn from me. So you're not my friend. You're my student. And with all due respect, but we have to keep that straight, right? And this is what I mean. Like, if you can be friends with other queens, you can be friends with other women who have put themselves in a position where they are nourishing their own queendom. And that's what I mean. A woman, and that's the whole point. Like, that's my whole message. I believe that a woman, both women and men, but this is a, like, we're not talking about men over here. Only I'm trying to make a few points to actually let men go and really focus on yourself, because I think if a woman is not really fully releasing her mind of the importance of a man, she can't really put herself on the pedestal. So I'm all about putting yourself on the pedestal, putting yourself front and center. You are the divine. Like, the divine is flowing through you. You are your own spirit. You are your own muse. You're your own inspiration. And if you are practicing that, you are living a life, or you are building a life. You have something going for yourself, right? You're taking care of you, you're taking care of your physical health, your mental health, your beauty, you're taking care of your hobbies, you're taking care of your well-being. You're living your life, right? You're following your dreams, your hobbies. You probably have a business. Whatever it is you do, if it's products or services, you have a business and you are managing your money. You're managing your money. And this is what I mean, like, by being a queen. Like, basically, that's it, right? You have put yourself on a pedestal, you honor yourself, you worship yourself, you value yourself, you value everything about you. You have a decentered approach to life, a decentered men, right? Like, you are worshiping your own self. You are probably something like a witch, or a spiritual, or an initiate, or a goddess, or a medicine woman, or whatever you want to call it. You're some kind of initiate, a sacred woman. Even if those words don't speak to you, you are a confident woman, a high achieving woman in your own right. And this is what it's all about, in your own right? Like, it's not about competition. Everyone is different. Just like I said with my girlfriend, she is not in my lane at all. Like, we're totally in two different worlds, but you know what unites us? The feminine experience, the feminine creative experience. And this is what I realized, that there can be problems with people thinking that they can be your friend, even though, no, like, you cannot be my friend because you are not on my level. And that's just true. And it's not something like, I wouldn't I personally know my position when I am with my mentor. I know I am not her friend, even though she's friendly. Like, she has initiated me, she has taught me things, and but we're not friends. Like, she's my teacher, like yeah, like my, I don't know the word, I'm so sorry, in English. Like, she's, yeah, my teacher, my padrina, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not an initiate in Santeria or something like that. So I don't want to I don't want to uh, culturally appropriate that, even though, like, it could be my culture, or it is my culture. But I like the word. It fits, right? So I think it's important to know when you are when you're building your own house. I'm using that term. It also comes from Santeria, or Orisha. You are building your own house. You have learned something, and now you can offer. You can offer your services. You might be, yeah, whatever it is that you do. Like, every woman has her own creative gift of healing or beautifying, whatever it is. Some people make poetry, some people are real teachers, some people are like using dance and movement and sound and breath, some people make potions, some people do tarot, some people make candles, some people make beauty products. Like, women can do all kinds of things and infuse their energy into it. We can already call it spiritual. So you have to know who you are on the ladder. And that's really something that has been on my mind, or on my heart, to say that if you are someone who has, and you're just starting, like, I don't know where you are on your journey, but if you're just starting, or if you are just new to your level up, depending on what kind of avenue you pursued, or maybe you are further along your journey and you have actually paid your dues, right? You have paid your money, you got initiated, you are trained, you are showing signs of that you actually know what you're doing, and you're now feeling ready to actually give your gift and be of service. You are building your own house, right? You are building your own queendom. You are already standing in your sovereignty, right? So this is what I mean. Like, I think also with women's circles, oh, this is what I've experienced in my younger years when I was, of course, I'm still young, but I have been a life coach, a certified life coach. Like, this was kind of like my initiation for 7 years now, or what is it, like 8 years now, something like that. And yeah, 7 years. And it, like, in the beginning, I realized that the women, like, it's an ego thing. If you don't really set your boundaries, like, that's me, that's who I am, that's my position, that is my throne, right? That's my throne, that's my empire. I'm the empress, that's my empire. And you are either you are your own empress or queen, or you are my student, you know? And I think this distinguishment, I think it's important to talk about that. And since women in general, this is my experience, have a hard time to actually really know their value or stand up for their value and then also communicate it. It doesn't have to end in a bitch fight or no, no, please, let's not do that. Um, but it's really about saying, okay, so what is the exchange here? This is also something that I experience where there are problems maybe coming up, where somebody is offering something and the other person is offering something else, and then people try to barter. I hate bartering. Nope, I'm not doing it. Um, like, you give me this, I give you this, but you can't, like, I have put a price on my work, yeah, and probably you haven't even put a price on your work in the level that I have put the price on my work. So we cannot be like, we cannot barter because you are not giving me the same energy as I am giving you, even though maybe my energy is just one consultation and it's already 3,000 euros, for example, right? So this would be my price. And it's not in general, but like, this is an example. And then you, like, you are maybe doing websites or something, and I don't want to talk down on it, all of it is important, but you have just realized that your price might be maybe 500 euros, you know? So, and just because, and this is what I've seen of experience, and you need, let's say, a month or something, you need a month to do the website, and you said it's 500 euros. And then for me, is a session of, let's say, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and it's 3,000 euros. These are arbitrary numbers, okay? And then you get mad. You get mad because you now realize that I have a certain price point, and I seem to value my work more than you seem to value your work. And this is what I've realized, where then the, like, the bitch fight comes in terms of business, you know? But it's also the same thing with maybe beauty, you know? Like, if somebody actually, they are not on your level, they're not on your level, and they want to be on your level. So I believe you can't really be friends because that other person is going to be jealous. It has nothing to do with the outside appearance, but it has everything to do with you actually already fully embodying yourself. Because I believe, like, that's just my thing. I love me, and that's what I promote. I love me. I love my phenotype. I love my skin color. I love my features. I love my hair. I love my body. I love everything about me. I love who I am. I'm blessed to have incarnated in this body. And I want you to feel the same way about yourself too. I'm not here comparing myself to nobody. I'm not comparing myself to you. I'm not comparing myself to no celebrity. I am on my own pedestal. Okay. And I want the same thing for you. But if you haven't put yourself on the pedestal, maybe a man is still on the pedestal, yeah? So we want to decenter him right now, yeah? So maybe he's still on the pedestal, or the male, and that's what I mean by the male, the man being on the pedestal, is you are centering the male gaze, right? You only think things are beautiful according to a man's perspective of beauty. So you try to look like a man would want you to look what you think, you know? Or you are pedestalizing another woman, maybe, and this is the whole thing. And honestly, like I'm just sharing from my heart. I have never been a fan of somebody where I screamed, like never in my life. And I think this is also very common for let's say sovereign women, for queens, like since you're a child. Yeah, I've never screamed to see somebody else because myself have been on stage since I can remember, and because I see myself as a diva as well. I see myself as a shining star as well, and I want you to do the same thing, right? So I can remember when I was like only 7 or so, I was made into being Whitney Houston with my shiny dress. And I think back then, maybe really 7, 8, 9, something around that, definitely not older. I was singing Whitney Houston, I'm every woman. I'm every woman, it's all in me. Anything you want done, baby, I do it naturally. Okay? This is what I was singing when I was 7. So I knew that I was a diva too. Like it's a club where it's a club. Like if you're in this club, it's a part of the club. So only if I say that I am my beauty standard, I am the most beautiful woman in my life, doesn't take away from you because you can still be the most beautiful woman in your life, right? So this is what I mean by women's circles. I only believe in women's circles. I only believe in women's solidarity when depending on what the topic is, right? We can talk about women's solidarity, but then when it most of the time when it comes to men or when it comes to opportunities or when it comes to money, women get catty again. Right? Women get catty instead of just really negotiating like a man. Yeah, or like okay, maybe that's wrong. Like not negotiating like a man, but negotiating like a grown-up sovereign queen, right? Where you are more in that, okay, let's talk about what it is. Like, don't try to change me. We also don't have to be like besties in terms of we look the same, just like in it's okay. I have nothing against it, or actually probably maybe I do, like because I never really liked it, like even when I was younger. I remember when I was younger, I was kind of the trendsetter. Like I know this is a topic, it's it's a really a braggadocious channel, but I'm just sharing. If you don't like it, fine. But I see myself, or I have seen myself when I was younger, I've seen myself as the trendsetter. And I remember that a friend of mine, then she kind of copied my look. Like she also bought the same thing that I had on, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. For some women, it's okay. Maybe you can do that sometimes. It can be funny. It can definitely be funny, but somehow I didn't like that. I wanted to have my own style. You have your own style. I can admire your style because you look different than me, totally different. Yeah, and you can admire my style without us copying each other. We can do that. We can learn from each other. Again, I don't have nothing against it, but somehow I didn't like it. But that's what I mean. Like I think a woman, if you consider yourself a friend group, I don't really think about like I don't believe in that anymore because I realize that most women haven't done their work. Again, I'm not saying it's not about looks at all. If you are really, and I can feel it, it's an energy, right? You can feel the energy. If somebody is comfortable in their own skin, if somebody really has pedestalized themselves, like if you feel great inside your body, if you feel good about yourself, about your life, and you wouldn't want to trade places, I think that's really the key point here. If you really wouldn't want to trade places with anyone else, you're good. right? You know you're not perfect, you know you can still do more, but you're satisfied within yourself, within your body, within your life, and you're actively working on yourself so you can live the life of your dreams, but you're not trying to go over here and live somebody else's dream. So this is a very, very important quality that I believe women have to have in order to be my friend, in order to be also in the Queen's Club, right? To be in the Healthy Baddie Club, right? We want to be in the same club. We want to be with other women, but it's only possible if these women are also on their own pedestal and if they're also confident within themselves without trying to change you. Don't change me. Don't try to change me. Just because you have a certain beauty standard doesn't mean that I have to have the same beauty standard. Just because you have a certain type or style, or you're following a trend doesn't mean that I have to follow the trend. There can be goddesses and queens in all rights. And I have to say also here, I had the privilege of meeting some like gorgeous queens in their right. Like it has nothing to do with my place. Yeah. So I think just the way I look, my phenotype, the culture kind of that I come from, or the people that I have been surrounded by, or where people place me, is in and of itself is my own queendom. Like just me having the experiences that I have will automatically make me um the go-to consultant for a certain kind of people. And the same thing is right for example, on my journey. I think, like I told you before in the other videos, like I really started my personal level up journey, like finding my purpose and all of that, maybe 10, almost 10 years ago. And one of the first things that I did after uni and working in corporate, I became a nutritionist, and I loved the whole training and everything that I learned there because I met other amazing women. And one of the women, like she was like the head witch. Even back then, I knew, like I could sense her energy. Like she was a divine feminine. She was the doctor because it's a medically approved certification. And she was our teacher, and she also did the examination. And so she was a divine feminine. She was a like a traditional, not a traditional, like she was a, let's say, Western medicine practitioner, but she has continued to educate herself more and more and more in alternative remedies and things like that. So she had a very good mix of both, and she was then focused on gut health, right? Nutrition and gut health. And this is also what I'm specialized in now. So she is like, I think had like a Russian heritage or something. She had this Russian heritage. She was highly educated. She was married to one of the like the head doctors in Charité, is like one of the most popular hospitals in Germany. It's in Berlin. And she was a witch, like she was a knowledgeable woman. And I am not going to compare myself with her. And I know, like, she's not my friend. She can be my mentor. She can be my mentor, but I have to know my place. And I have to say that up until now, I still had like experiences where my clients then afterwards like didn't really know their place. They didn't really know their place. And and also the same thing, it's not about only business, but it's also about friendship. If you are not fully in your power, if you are not in your queen energy, if you're not in your sovereign energy, it's not about competition, it's not about comparing, but it's about knowing your place and really acknowledging, oh, that other woman, she has more knowledge. She has what you don't have, right? She feels like she has the self-esteem. She has the self-love. She has the radical self-love, right? She is disciplined. She has the body maybe, or she has the glow. She has the business, right? She has the money. She has the lifestyle. It's important for you to acknowledge it and not try to downplay her, because I think that's really, again, these are humbling tactics, and this is also coming from a patriarchal mindset. If you don't have what that other person has, you have to destroy them. That's what I think that is what happens. This kind of It didn't happen to me. Nobody tried to destroy me. But I remember this one client where she was yeah, she was like impatient or whatever. She didn't appreciate the work we did. And I realized, oh, this is where the sister wound, right? These are also words in the, let's say, in the sacred woman spaces, like the sister wound, like we have the mother wound, right? The mother wound is when you didn't get the love and the nourishment from your mother. So you probably have a mother wound. And the mother wound, that's my personal interpretation. If you don't have a good relationship with your mother and you don't heal that mother wound, I think it can definitely leak into becoming the sister wound. And the sister wound is more so this competition thing amongst women. Instead of women being girly girls and appreciating each other and lifting each other up and celebrating each other, everyone in their own right, women many times, like I don't know where we are like now on a scale, but I think like this has been the era that we are now leaving. Yeah, that women have been fighting about men and things, basically most of the time around men. Like women are fighting for men, which is actually women fighting for resources, right? Because let's be real, like we also want to use the man to support us financially, which is a thing and which is valid and which it has been a thing. And especially if you're underprivileged or whatever that means, or uneducated, maybe you see that this is your only way to some kind of financial security and some kind of life. But if you are educated and if you know how to maneuver yourself in society, and if you know how to sell, if you become a businesswoman, if you find out how can you cater to your fellow women, I think that's the best way how to create a sovereign, queen-centered business. Yeah, because you are a queen, you are putting yourself on a pedestal, and then therefore you know what a woman wants and needs. Like you are her. As I said, you are her, and we are all, I think that's how I see it in a spiritual way. We are a body, like we are a collective consciousness. Women have a collective consciousness. And I believe we all want the same. We all want to be healthy. We all want to be beautiful. We all want to love and be romanticized, right? Not necessarily only from a man, but also we want to love our own life, and we want to be appreciated and valued and seen and heard. And we want to express ourselves creatively through whatever channel works for you. And we want money. We want money because we want to be free. We don't want to be dependent on anybody, not on a man and not on a employer, but we actually want to be free. So just rounding this up, it doesn't have to be longer than necessary, but I believe that, like, I believe sisterhoods and women's circles can be a scam, especially if the women there haven't done their work, and if they don't. So either, like, if somebody offers a women's circle, I believe the person offering the women's circle has to know that you are the queen bee, and that's okay. Like you are the queen bee, not in terms of hierarchy. And this is where it gets complex. It's not about hierarchy. It's not about I am innately better than you. No, but I am here because I have something to offer. A women's circle, I believe, is a business too. It's a business because the woman who is opening the women's circle, she decided that she has something to offer. So then the people coming, even if they also have something to offer, don't offer it here. Maybe you can share something, but don't offer everything that you feel like you have to offer. If you feel that way, go over there and open your own space. Don't come into my space and then offer what you have. This is also what I've seen, like where it all gets mixed up and entangled and things like that. And many times because women who are rising into their own power, and it happened with me too, we are afraid to set the boundaries and say like, hey, no, this is not going to happen over here. This is my space. This is my space. You came here, so now you have to also get in the rightful position. get in the position of you came here as a student, or you came here as a participant, you came here as a receiver, you came here as somebody who wants to learn because you have identified that I know something that you don't know and you want to learn from me. So don't play it up like you are now the teacher here. No, that's not going to happen. Okay, so that's important. And the same thing again also with friendships. Yeah, I think if somebody wants to be in your position, if somebody is not pedestalizing herself and loving herself and just being in her own world, I think it can get a little crazy in terms of friendships, because then there could be jealousy if somebody wants to look like you, be like you, or change you. Don't change me. Don't change me. I'm not here trying to change you. Like I might say if you're open to a feedback or something, but don't make me change and then say like, no, you can't be in my club. No, like you can be you. I'm gonna honor your difference. I'm gonna honor your individuality, and we don't have to be all the same. Okay, the more diverse, the more variety, the more I like it. We don't always have to look the same. Please, I don't like the twin look. I don't, to be honest, I don't really like it. Since I'm young, I don't want to have matching outfits. I'm not a twin. Okay, so you do your thing. I don't mind. I'm not jealous. No, I don't want you to be jealous of me. I want us, of course, to inspire each other, and we can rise together and we can grow together. But please, let's stay individuals. Let's all be sovereign, responsible women who are responsible for their own emotional life and responsible for their own outcomes and results. And we are here to support each other, but we are also here to be sovereign, right? To be sovereign and to be real, right? If you are a student, see yourself as a student, be humble enough to be a student. And I think there's nothing wrong with it. I was humble enough to be a student myself. And I also am humble enough when I know that somebody knows more than me or has something going on for themselves. Or actually, also sometimes it's about actually being able to communicate what it is that you might if that you could teach me, because if I don't know what you could teach me, I don't know what your expertise is, and I don't know how to value it, so the same thing goes here. Yeah, with that being said, maybe just a little bit about my mentorship program. So my mentorship program is really like a proven, repeatable, reliable uh, formula of transformation. The first one is 12 weeks, and it's really going deep, 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 deep to unearthing your deepest desires, and then also repatterning all of the limitation that is blocking the energy. Yeah, we do a lot of embodiment, we do a lot of breathing, sounding, movement, and also reprogramming the mind, everything that I'm talking about here. And of course, it goes way deeper. And the biggest thing here is really about staying on course, because at the beginning, you will probably get triggered, and then you can derail, like totally derail, and then going in a completely different direction. So that's what I think is the biggest thing with the mentorship, that you have somebody that just holds you on the space. Like you get all the tools and all of the things that you need, like the meditation, the affirmation, the journaling prompts, the audios, the coaching sessions. Like it's really robust, like it's really good, it's really deep. And at the same time, it's about just keeping you, helping you to stay on course, to stay on course, and to not just shift. And as they say, like a shift, like a derailing of 1% can already take you to a completely different destination. So yeah, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think sisterhoods are good? Do you think everybody can just be in your sisterhood and everybody can just be your sister? Do you think that it is important that women who call themselves friends, who are on one level, are actually have their own thing going on, their they have their self-esteem, they know what's going on in their life, and they're queens in their own right? Or do you think it's okay to be friends, quote unquote, with people who actually want to be like you, who are still growing, and who are literally, and that's the whole thing where I'm not going to be politically correct, who are literally not on your level, because level means there is kind of a hierarchy, but I don't mean on level, but oh yeah, maybe I'm also um uh, like like I am contradicting myself, because I'm talking about putting off the hierarchy, but I also believe in wisdom, wisdom and knowledge. And I think it is important to recognize somebody else's degree, yeah, in something where somebody's further beyond you. Like, let's not pretend that um yeah, somebody who doesn't have a child, she can't really speak about children. So that's the qualification. If somebody speaks about beauty, they probably have to have some kind of beauty going on for themselves. If somebody speaks about self-esteem, they should have the self-esteem. If somebody is talking about living your own sovereign life, they probably should have like a sovereign life. You understand? So I think it is important that we check who is trying to tell us what. Yeah. Okay. So with that being said, I wish you a beautiful day. I'm looking forward to hear from you. And until then, take care.